And hello ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this again is the Soft Top Project update. This video is sponsored by MPB4x4 Independent Land Rover Specialists. I'm also going to give you a heads up on an excellent rust proofing paint product by Buzzweld. I'd like to also apologise for the fact that I haven't done anything on this channel for a little while because I broke my ankle. And that'll be the fibia, and it was broken just down here. Unfortunately, at my age, it's healing slower than it should do, but we're getting there. The project itself, we changed the main headlamp that was chipped. Part we got from MPB4x4, second hand, a new indicator lens, and of course the connectors are rotten, so they've been replaced as well. Okay, so our engine side cylinder head water outlet elbow is leaking and it's actually rotten under the hose there, so we've got ourselves from MPB4x4 a new part, which is a Brit part. Okay, it's easy to fit, no problem at all. It's the outlet part that's actually rotten. So we have a few more parts that we have to fit. A water pump here and also an oil pressure switch. I'm not sure you can actually see the number there. I'll put that on the screen a little bit later for you. And then we've got hoses to fit as well, because the hose on the vehicle is actually split chafed. The hose number is PEH101080R. It also is available from Britpart as well. Okay, we'll do those later. The Discovery 2 has a pipe complex underneath, which is steel, and this was actually a little bit rusty. And I've also got some wings from MPB4x4 second hand, which is quite handy, and I'll be showing you how to paint these when we've decided on what paint we're going to use. But for the vehicle itself, I've stripped out the carpet to have a look underneath, and you can see that there's rust coming through in places. It's surface rust at the moment, and this needs to be treated at some point. The interior completely has been stripped out, the headliner and all the plastic panels, and you can see the amount of wiring that's actually in the roof itself, which we're going to have to deal with if we take, or when we take the roof off. Now the carpet, well, we had to cut this into little bits and it's slowly disappearing, as well as the rest of the plastic panels. I cut them up and put them in the skip. And what we have here, the cut line, which will be the cut line. You can see the steel panels 75mm from the window. Okay, now this presents a problem in itself, because the way that this is constructed is not so much the loom, it's the way the door is attached to the rear of the vehicle. 75mm down from the window, you can see what is not in line. So just have another quick look at that. You've got about 75mm from the window edge down to a steel lip. And this is where we are eventually going to cut, but where we cut and how we're going to cut it, I'm not 100% sure yet. I'll let you know about this, but you can see the amount of wiring. Obviously some of you D2 owners will already know that this is laced with looms all over the place. Some of these are useful, some of them can be made redundant and got rid of. But we're going to have to sift through and work out how we're going to do this. But you can see where the main spars on the roof are. We'll probably use the same positions for steel bars. Right, so this rust here is not going to go away. I'm considering putting in a spray-on rubber floor. Now, same thing again on the chassis and the axles. It's rust. It's not very sightly. So we've found a solution possibly for how we're going to get around rust-proofing this and making it look half decent. Okay, so enter the Dragon, or RCP. This is a rust stabilizing primer from Buzzweld. This will convert the rust after you've painted it on, whereas the CIO, which is a chassis in one, is a protective coating and a rust treatment. This stuff is actually fairly thick, it has something like 94% solids in it, but it can be bought in a spray application for painting, well, smaller bits or repairing certain areas. But the finish on this is quite satisfactory. The shinier bits are actually still wet from hand painting. So what you basically have here is an all-in-one paint solution, and it also has glass particles in it to make it resistant to abrasion. Now you can see the potential here. This is just on a panel that it will actually do chassis very well. Now the RCP, again, this rust stabilizing primer, this is what I'll use on the floor after I've busted the rust off it, and this should stop the rust from coming back. What I should say is the CIO dries very quickly, whereas this RCP, or the rust stabilizing primer, takes a little bit longer to dry. Now looking at the effect here, this is about 10 minutes and the RCP is already drying. It's a self-leveling primer, and it also seals itself so it's not porous. Actually, you can see there's quite a lot of dust on this, but this was the next day and it's dried satisfactorily. So you can see the potential using a CIO on the chassis and on the suspension parts. This will give a satisfactory finish that's going to last a fair while and keep the rust from coming back. This Watts linkage was replaced about 4 months ago, and you can see the paint where it was painted is already rusted. CIO should stop that. At first we're going to have to go ahead and steam wash the chassis down very thoroughly. So if you're interested more in the CIO and the RCP, take a look at the rust killing paint stuff video that's on the Land Rover Toolbox video channel. You click on there and drop through, or the link will be in the description below, and tell me what you think about this stuff.